Hi, I'm Sarah. Today I'm going to read you the story of Denise, which is titled like this: I threw a party for my big 30, nobody came. A month later, Mom texted, "Our 40th anniversary, you owe $2,000. I sent her $10, that's all you deserve." A few days later, they tried to break into my house. They didn't know I changed the locks. Well, let's go. So here I am, 30 years old next week, and I'm actually excited about it. I know most people dread the big 30, but honestly, I've worked my ass off to get where I am. Got my own house last year, yeah, with a mortgage that'll probably outlive me, but it's mine. Good job, decent savings, and for the first time in my life, I feel like I can actually celebrate myself properly. I decided to do 2 parties. First one would be intimate, just family at my place on Saturday evening. Mom, Dad, my older brother Jake and sister Sarah with their families. Nothing fancy, just good food, and maybe we could actually have a normal family dinner for once. The second party would be Sunday at Romano's with my work friends and college buddies, the people who actually give a damn about me. Let me tell you about my family real quick. I'm the baby, the afterthought, the oops we did it again kid. Jake's 35, Sarah's 33, and then there's little old me trailing behind like a lost puppy. Growing up, I got the hand-me-downs, the smaller bedroom, then maybe next time when I asked for anything. When Jake wanted guitar lessons, they signed him up immediately. When Sarah wanted to join dance class, boom, there she was in her little tutu. When I asked for art supplies? We'll see, Denise, money's tight. They paid for Jake's college completely, state school, but still. Sarah got the same deal. When it was my turn, suddenly the well was dry. You're smart, Denise, you'll figure it out. And I did, full scholarship to state, 4 hours away from this place. I only came back twice during college, Jake's wedding when I was 20, and Sarah's wedding the next year. Both times I felt like a stranger at my own family's events. I was the single one, the one still figuring things out, while they were settling down and becoming real adults. But things changed when I graduated and landed this marketing job. Suddenly I was making good money, better than both my siblings actually. And wow, look who wanted to rebuild our relationship. Family dinners started happening again. Holiday invitations appeared. Of course, I noticed they mainly called when they needed something. Car repair for Jake, new appliances for Sarah, house down payment help for Mom and Dad. I always said yes, every damn time. I thought maybe this was how families worked, you help each other out, right? Maybe this was their way of showing they needed me, that I mattered. Then last year I bought the house. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, nice neighborhood. I was so proud when I told them at Sunday dinner. The silence was deafening. You could literally hear the air conditioning humming. Jake just stared at his plate. Sarah's husband whispered something to her that made her face go red. Mom and Dad looked at each other like I'd just announced I was joining a cult. You could have talked to us first, Dad finally said. That money could have been used better, for the family. For the family, not congratulations, not we're proud of you. Just criticism about how I should have spent my money on them. But I kept my mouth shut, smiled, and nodded. Changed the subject to Jake's kids' soccer season. After that dinner, the invitations got less frequent. When I did show up, I felt invisible. Sarah would make little comments about my big empty house while she lived in a cramped 2-bedroom apartment with her family. Jake would avoid eye contact. Mom and Dad treated me like furniture. I kept telling myself it would pass. Families go through rough patches, right? So when I was planning this birthday, I genuinely thought things might be different. 30's a big one. Maybe we could actually celebrate something together for once. I sent the group text on Monday, "Hey everyone, planning my 30th birthday for Saturday 6 p.m. at my place. Nothing fancy, just family dinner. Let me know if you can make it." The responses came in within an hour. Jake, okay, Sarah, okay, Mom, okay, Dad, okay. That was it, just okay. No sounds great, or can't wait, or what can we bring? Just, okay, but I took it as yes. I spent Wednesday evening calling Antonio's, this Italian place my family loves, and ordered enough food for 8 people. Chicken parmigiana, lasagna, Caesar salad, garlic bread, tiramisu. Cost me almost $200, but whatever. It's my birthday. Thursday I deep cleaned the house. Vacuumed, dusted, scrubbed the bathrooms until they sparkled. Friday I hit the store for drinks and decorations. Nothing crazy, just some balloons and a happy birthday banner. Made sure I had beer for the guys, wine for the ladies, soda for the kids. Saturday morning I woke up actually excited. When was the last time I felt excited about seeing my family? I couldn't remember. I picked up the food at 4 p.m., set everything out on the dining room table, dimmed the lights just right. Put on some soft background music. The house looked perfect. 5:30 p.m., final check, food's warm, drinks are cold, I'm wearing the new dress I bought specifically for tonight. 6 p.m., showtime, I'm standing by the front window, watching for cars. 6:15 p.m., maybe they're running late, traffic, you know? 6:45 p.m., starting to feel stupid standing here in my fancy dress. 7 p.m., my phone starts buzzing with birthday messages. But they're from work friends, college roommates, my neighbor Mrs. Patterson. People who actually remembered. My family? Radio silence. By 7:15 p.m., I was done waiting, my hands were shaking as I scrolled through my contacts. Mom's number stared back at me. Just call her, I told myself. There has to be an explanation. The phone rang 3 times before she picked up. Hello? Her voice was sharp, annoyed. In the background I could hear music, laughter, the sound of people having a good time. What do you want? We're busy right now. I'm waiting for you guys, for my birthday dinner? You said okay when I invited everyone. Silence, complete silence except for the party sounds in the background. I could hear someone laughing really loud, sounded like Jake. Then Mom's voice got muffled, like she was covering the phone with her hand. I caught bits and pieces, she's calling about. And I thought we told her. She came back on the line, and her tone was so casual it made my stomach drop. Oh right, your thing, yeah, we forgot about that. We're at Fun Zone with the kids. Jake's kids wanted to go bowling, and Sarah thought it would be fun for everyone. We won't be able to make it to your dinner. They forgot my 30th birthday. But Mom, I told you about this on Monday. I ordered food, I cleaned the house, I've been waiting. Well, plans change, Denise. We decided to do something fun instead. The background noise got louder. I could hear Sarah's voice now, and her kids screaming with excitement. Dad was saying something about strikes and spares. They were having a blast while I stood in my empty house with enough food to feed a small army. Mom, this is my birthday, my 30th birthday. Yes, well, happy birthday then. Look, we're in the middle of something here. The kids are waiting for their turn. And she hung up, just like that, while I could still hear them all laughing in the background. I stood there holding my phone, staring at the screen showing the call had ended. The house was so quiet I could hear the refrigerator humming in the kitchen. All that food sitting there getting cold. I walked back to the dining room and looked at the spread I'd put together. The chicken parm was getting that gross film on top. The Caesar salad was wilting. The tiramisu sat there like a joke. I sat down at the head of my dining room table, still in my new dress, and just stared at all the empty chairs. 8 place settings for 1 person. The birthday banner hanging there looking stupid and desperate. My phone buzzed with more birthday messages. My friend Lisa from work, hope you're having an amazing day. My college roommate Jennifer, 30 looks good on you, girl. Even my boss sent a text, enjoy your special day. But nothing from Jake, nothing from Sarah, nothing from Mom or Dad. I tried to eat a little bit of the lasagna, but it tasted like cardboard. Everything felt wrong. The house was too quiet, too empty, too much space for just me. That's when the memories started flooding back. All those times when I was a kid and they'd forget about me. Like when I was 7 and Jake got this huge birthday party with all his friends, a magician, and a Batman cake. Sarah got the same treatment for her birthday 2 months later, princess theme, pink everywhere, all her little girlfriends dressed up. When my birthday came around, Mom made a box cake and Dad picked up pizza. Just the 5 of us sitting around the kitchen table while I tried to pretend I wasn't disappointed. Or when I made honor roll in 5th grade. I was so excited, came running home with the certificate. Mom was helping Jake with his science project, and Dad was fixing Sarah's bike. I showed them the paper, and Mom glanced at it for maybe 2 seconds before saying, "That's nice, honey," and going right back to Jake's volcano. Jake's science project got displayed on the refrigerator for 3 months. My honor roll certificate went in a drawer. High school graduation was the worst. Jake and Sarah both got these big parties when they graduated. Relatives came from out of state, Mom spent weeks planning the food, Dad rented tables and chairs. When I graduated, as valedictorian, by the way, we went to Applebee's. Just the 5 of us. Mom said they were tired of throwing parties and that I'd understand when I was older. Even when I got my scholarship to state, the biggest achievement of my life at that point, the reaction was basically, "Good, now we don't have to pay for college." Not pride, relief that they wouldn't have to spend money on me. I got up from the table and started putting food away. Container after container going into the fridge. As I was wrapping up the garlic bread, my phone rang again. For a split second, my heart jumped. Maybe it was Mom calling back to apologize. Maybe they realized how awful this was and were on their way over. It was my friend Marcus from college. "Birthday girl, how's the big 30 treating you?" I almost started crying right there on the phone. Here was someone who remembered, someone who cared enough to call. "It's been interesting," I managed to say. "Family party going well?" I looked around at my empty house, at all the food I was putting away, at the stupid decorations hanging there mocking me. "Something like that," I said. We talked for about 20 minutes. He told me about his new job, his girlfriend, his plans to visit next month. Normal conversation with someone who actually wanted to talk to me. When we hung up, the house felt even emptier. I changed out of my dress and into pajamas. Took down the decorations and shoved them in a drawer. Blew out the candles I'd lit for ambience. Then I sat on my couch and cried. Not pretty crying, but the ugly kind where your whole body shakes and you can't catch your breath. I cried for that 7-year-old who got pizza instead of a party. I cried for the honor roll student whose achievement went in a drawer. I cried for the valedictorian who got Applebee's instead of celebration. And I cried for the 30-year-old woman who still thought maybe, just maybe, this time would be different. I woke up Sunday morning with puffy eyes and a headache. The house still smelled like garlic bread and disappointment. All that food was still sitting in my fridge, mocking me. I packed everything up in the containers it came in, loaded it all into my car, and drove to St. Mary's homeless shelter downtown. The volunteer at the front desk, this sweet older lady named Rose, practically cried when I explained what I was donating. Walking out of that shelter, I felt lighter somehow. At least the food would go to people who'd actually appreciate it. The rest of the week passed in a blur. Work kept me busy, which was good. I didn't check social media because I knew I'd see photos of their fun family bowling night and I wasn't ready for that level of masochism yet. But Friday afternoon, I was scrolling through Instagram during my lunch break, and there it was. Sarah had posted a bunch of pictures from Saturday night. All of them at Fun Zone, laughing and having a great time. Jake's kids with their arms around their grandparents. Mom and Dad looking happier than I'd seen them in years. Sarah and her husband sharing nachos. Everyone looking like the perfect happy family. The caption read, "Spontaneous family fun night." Sometimes the best plans are no plans at all. Spontaneous, right, they made a choice that night, and it wasn't me. But you know what? I had my restaurant party to look forward to. The people who actually wanted to celebrate with me. Sunday evening at Romano's was everything the family dinner should have been. 12 of my closest friends showed up. My work team surprised me with a cake. Lisa gave a speech about how proud she was of everything I'd accomplished. Marcus drove 3 hours just to be there. We stayed until the restaurant closed, laughing and telling stories. When I got home that night, I was genuinely happy for the first time in weeks. A month went by. A whole month of silence from my family. I didn't call them, they didn't call me. I kept living my life, going to work, hanging out with friends, enjoying my house. I started a garden in the backyard. Painted the guest bedroom. Normal stuff that normal people do. I did check their social media occasionally, like picking at a scab. More family gatherings, barbecue at mom and dad's house. Jake's son's baseball game where they all showed up to cheer. Sarah's birthday dinner at some fancy steakhouse. All of them together, having a great time without me. Then, on a Tuesday morning while I was getting ready for work, my phone buzzed with a text from Mom. No hi or how are you, just straight to business. Your father and I are celebrating our 40th anniversary next week. We're having dinner at a restaurant. You need to send $2,000 to my card as your entrance fee. This is just for the party, you still need to buy us a separate gift. I read it 3 times, and each time I got angrier. $2,000. As an entrance fee. Like I was paying admission to spend time with my own family. And I still had to buy them a gift on top of that. No apology for missing my birthday. No acknowledgement that we hadn't spoken in a month. No explanation of where or when this dinner was happening. Just a demand for money and a casual assumption that I'd fork it over like always. I made myself a cup of coffee and sat at my kitchen table, staring at that message. The same kitchen table where I'd sat as a kid while they planned Jake and Sarah's birthday parties. The same table where I'd done my homework alone while they helped my siblings with theirs. 40 years of marriage, and their youngest daughter was just a walking ATM to them. I opened my banking app and sent Mom a transfer. Exactly $10. Then I typed my response. This is all you deserve from me, don't ask for another cent, ever. I hit send before I could change my mind. My hands were shaking, but it felt good, really good. Like I'd been holding my breath for 30 years and finally exhaled. It took about 20 minutes for the calls to start. First Mom, then Dad, then Jake, then Sarah. I let them all go to voicemail. The text started next. Jake, what the hell is wrong with you, it's their anniversary. Sarah, you're being so selfish, they raised you. Dad, this behavior is unacceptable, call us immediately. Mom, how dare you embarrass us like this, we expected better from you. Expected better, that was rich, coming from people who forgot my 30th birthday to go bowling. I deleted every message without responding. I was done explaining myself to people who never listened anyway. Tuesday night, I heard car doors slamming in my driveway. Through the window, I saw Mom and Dad marching up to my front door like they owned the place. The pounding started immediately. Denise, open this door right now, Dad's voice, loud enough for the neighbors to hear. We need to talk to you, Mom added. I stayed on my couch, watching TV, ignoring them completely. I know you're in there, more pounding, this is ridiculous behavior. After about 10 minutes, they gave up and left. I watched their taillights disappear down the street and felt nothing but relief. But I knew they weren't done. They never were when money was involved. The next morning I got an alert on my phone from my security system. Someone was trying to break into my house. I was on a business trip in Denver, sitting in a hotel room, watching my own front door on my laptop screen. And there they were, Mom, Dad, Jake, and Sarah, trying to get into my house. First they tried their key. When that didn't work, because I'd changed the locks right after my birthday, they started trying to force the door open. My own family, breaking into my house. Looking for money they thought I kept in my bedroom closet. I could have called the police right then, probably should have. But I just sat there watching them, recording everything, finally seeing them for who they really were. They spent 20 minutes trying to get in before giving up. 2 days later, I flew home. That evening, they all showed up again. I opened the door and there they all were. Mom, Dad, Jake, and Sarah, looking like an angry mob ready to storm my castle. They pushed past me before I could even say hello. "How dare you humiliate us like this?" Mom started screaming before she was even fully in the house. $2,000 is nothing for you, and you send us $10 like we're beggars. We couldn't have our anniversary dinner because of you, Dad joined in. 40 years of marriage, and our own daughter ruins it. Jake was pacing around my living room like he owned it. "You're being a selfish bastard, Denise," they asked for one thing. Sarah stood there with her arms crossed, nodding along. "We always knew you were weird, but this is just cruel." I let them yell for about 2 minutes, watching their faces get red, listening to them call me every name in the book. Then I walked over to my laptop and opened it up. "Shut up," I said quietly, something in my voice made them stop. Maybe they'd never heard me actually angry before. I turned the laptop screen toward them and hit play on the security footage. There they were, in perfect high definition, trying to break into my house. Dad jiggling the door handle. Jake trying to force the lock. Mom acting as lookout while Sarah checked the windows. Their faces went white. "I installed cameras after my birthday party that none of you bothered to show up for," I said. "You know, the party where you forgot your own daughter's 30th birthday to go bowling." "That was an accident," Sarah tried to say. "Bullshit, you made a choice. And then you made another choice when you decided to try breaking into my house to steal my money." Dad tried to get his bluster back. "We weren't stealing, we're your family." "Family doesn't break into each other's houses, Dad. Family doesn't demand money like protection fees. Family doesn't forget birthdays and then hang up when you call crying." I clicked to another video file. "Here's you trying to jimmy the back door. And here's Jake checking if my bedroom window was unlocked." Real family behavior right there. Mom started crying, fake tears, the kind she used to use when I was a kid and she wanted to guilt me into something. "We raised you," she sobbed. "We fed you and clothed you and gave you a roof over your head. You did the bare minimum required by law." Jake got guitar lessons, Sarah got dance classes, I got hand-me-downs and lectures about money being tight. Jake got a car, Sarah got a car, I got a bus pass. You paid for their college, I got a scholarship or nothing. We couldn't afford, Dad started. You could afford it when Jake needed help with his house down payment. You could afford it when Sarah wanted new furniture. But my college education? Too expensive. I was on a roll now, 30 years of suppressed anger pouring out. I'd given you thousands of dollars over the years. Car repairs, appliances, emergency funds. Every time you called, I said yes. And what did I get in return? Treated like an ATM with legs. That's not true, Sarah said weakly. When was the last time any of you called just to see how I was doing? When was the last time you invited me to something that didn't involve me paying for it? Silence. I bought this house, and instead of congratulating me, you told me I should have spent the money on you. I planned a birthday party, and you forgot about it to go bowling. I sent you $10 instead of $2,000, and you tried to rob me. I closed the laptop and looked at each of them. If you ever come to my house again, if you ever contact me again, if you ever try to break in again, I'm taking this video to the police. Breaking and entering is a felony. All 4 of you could go to jail. I walked to the front door and held it open. Get out, all of you, now. They filed out like scolded children. I slammed the door behind them and turned the deadbolt. A week later, I saw photos from their modest anniversary celebration on Facebook. They'd had dinner at Mom and Dad's house instead of a restaurant. Everyone looked miserable. Sarah's husband kept checking his phone. Jake's kids were obviously bored. Mom and Dad looked like they were attending a funeral instead of celebrating 40 years together. The comments were hilarious. Looks like a lovely intimate celebration, from some distant cousin who didn't know any better. But I could see the truth in their faces. Without my money, they couldn't afford the fancy restaurant they'd planned. Without my money, it was just another awkward family dinner. Over the next few months, they tried a few half-hearted attempts at reconciliation. A birthday card from Mom with no money in it. A text from Jake asking how I was doing. Sarah liked one of my Instagram posts. I ignored all of it. My life got better immediately. No more guilt trips about family obligations. No more emergency calls asking for money. No more sitting at family dinners feeling invisible while they talked around me. I started dating this guy from work, Tom. He's funny and kind and actually listens when I talk. When I told him about my family situation, he said, "Good for you." Toxic is toxic, even when it's family. I redecorated the guest bedroom into an art studio. Started painting again for the first time since high school. Joined a hiking group. Made new friends who didn't know anything about my drama and liked me for who I was. 6 months later, I ran into Jake at the grocery store. He looked embarrassed, kept glancing around like he was afraid someone would see us talking. "Hey," he said awkwardly. "Hey. How are you?" "Good, really good." He shifted from foot to foot. "Mom misses you." "I'm sure she misses my wallet." His face got red. "That's not fair." "Look, Jake, I don't hate you guys, but I don't trust you either. And I'm not going back to being your family ATM. I pushed my cart past him and kept shopping. Do I miss them sometimes? Maybe. I miss the idea of them, the family I thought we could be. But I don't miss the reality of who they actually are. I'm 31 now, and for the first time in my life, I'm not waiting for my family to love me the way I deserve. I'm not hoping the next holiday will be different, or that they'll finally see me as more than a paycheck. I've got my house, my job, my real friends, and my peace of mind. That's worth more than all their fake family dinners.